about you, Gerard?
What?
As far as people that you appreciate from your early, well, maybe not even early. I mean, just people that you really appreciate that really help make it easier on you.
You know he's gonna say Barry Windham and Muda.
I've never met either one of them. Gosh, I don't know, because I can't say Chris Cody and Steve Savage because they count as trainers.
And all the rest of yours are dead, probably.
I was actually watching. We were over at Curtis's, and he wanted to watch an old Jerry Reiner match and put it on, and I was wrestling a guy who is no longer with us. I was like, that's creepy. No, he was a good guy though. I love that fucking guy.
Really?
The high-tech redneck. He was so funny. I was so sad to hear, because I didn't know him that well, but I was so sad to hear about him. He was a funny motherfucker. You don't know who?
No, I'm just gonna nod.
I saw the match between him and the Nameless Remainder.
The Nameless Remainder.
There was really nobody ever.
No, never mind. That's too.
Mine would obviously come from PWA, and a lot of people really kind of took me in, and really helped me a lot. But a lot of people, it was like a family atmosphere there, and there were a bunch of them that I appreciate a little more than others. You know what I mean? Scott Armstrong actually came to the school a couple times and taught us everything. And that guy, I mean, just sit down and talk to him for 20 minutes and you've been re-educated somehow on the business, somehow. And all of his stories are funny, and he's probably one of the nicest guys in the world. Cyrus was always really cool to me. He always called me Vortexus. To this day, calls me Vortexus.
I'm Jer Bear.
Yeah.
I'm Irish guy.
Hey, Irish guy. Could you hand me? I remember that.
It was Vortexus and Greenberg. That was the two of us. Cheatham was always really cool to me, both of them. And Chad Havoc was really good to me. Because, I mean, I guess because he had just gotten in himself. And he had just gotten in himself, and he was, just kind of trying to help the transition. But those are some guys that I really... And then this guy.
I was wondering if anybody was going to throw me a fucking bomb.
Jerry was crippled back then, but he'd always come up to the school and help us, or videotape Nikki or whatever. And
kayfabe.
It's not a real name.
I know.
So I couldn't tell you your real last name. You could though, couldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't think I can.
I know what her real first name was.
Mm-hmm.
She was married to Lance Storm.
Yeah, I called him Lance Storm because he looked like Lance Storm. She wasn't really married to Lance Storm.
Chris Irish was another one too. Chris Irish was a really good dude, and his kid gave us the finger one time.
Kid dude.
All right, Joe. Next segue.
This is the Reiner show. You let him tell you what the next segment is.
Jesse Black's calling. Jesse Black. He's my best friend.
I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, and I'm black, and I'm black, y'all.
So we're going to take an intermission and...
So you can answer the phone?
No.
Jesse Black.
Let's keep going.
He's pretty important.
What's next?
I mean, we're not mentioning anything. We're worried about who's calling Joe.
What's next?
I'm tired. Recent angles that you've been involved in, that you're enjoying. We probably shouldn't talk about the ones that we're in right now,
That's been my most recent one. Unless you want to go back to IWC.
The most recent.
Well, what have I been in since then, or before then? Wrestled a lot of tag matches.
You were in that faction in Bruton with Nick McCain.
Nick McCain and
Nick Wonder.
Nick Wonder.
Well, who was that guy? He came in with Nick Wonder.
Brian Rival.
Brian Rival.
Yeah.
I said,
Speaking of Nick Wonder.
Yeah, I got his MySpace request, and he's my friend.
And he's also we're gonna see him on Saturday.
Yeah, he's supposed to be there. But he suggests when I was booking for
Dirty. Smile in my heart.
When I was booking for Dirty South, he suggested this manager guy, and I said, we can't pay him, so sure, bring him on. And he said, oh, he's good promo and everything. He's great. He looks the part, and he looked pretty good, you know. And he went out.
Looked the part.
Keep in mind, he said he's a great promo.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we bring him out to introduce this new faction that's going to take over and be the big heel faction. And he didn't know the names of his guys.
We were all named Nick.
Nick Vortex, Nick Wonder, and
Nick McCain.
Nick McCain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jester McCain, Jester sounds a lot like Nick, so
I can see how we get Nick and Jester confused.
Yeah.
He was 2/3 right, I guess.
Yeah, boy.
I told Jerry that night, I said, you should probably rename the team My Three Nicks.
Yeah, I mean, the virtue thing, that took off a little better than I expected.
Yeah, because we were sitting up at Taco Bell that day, about a week before you actually submitted and committed to that gimmick, just probably to shut me and Kyle up. And because, you were saying that Red was giving you crap about, you not having a gimmick. So
Who came up with it?
It was actually Kyle and myself.
It was
because
me. I gave him the inspiration.
Because Nick used to walk around the apartment all the time doing his gospel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, I'd go over to Kyle's house and something good would happen on TV or something, or Kyle would be like, "Oh, sweet, a new South Park." I'd go, "Praise Lord Jesus," and then
right.
and then
So then we're like,
what the hell?
So Kyle and I, out of jest, just said, that should probably be your new gimmick. You should just be like a televangelist or like a gospel guy or whatever. And then just from me just spouting out crap, said, instead of Vortex, we'll just call you Nick Virtue. And
Ching.
here it is.
Yeah, and lo and behold,
From the Holy Grail.
yeah, what the.
Pardon?
Some more Brian Reese's on the fly
some of the
storytelling of.
The virtual intervention being my fucking finish.
It's just a drop, dude.
The
It's a
Holy
drop, dude.
Grail.
That's where I was hailed from.
Yeah, he's
apparently.
from-
That's not a place.
He's either
It's
from
a thing.
He's either from Mary Magdalene or a cup.
Yeah,
Whichever
according to which one you want to
prefer,
look at.
whichever Holy Grail is your
If you
favorite.
want to think Da Vinci Code or Indiana Jones. So if anybody's watching this that is a Nick Virtue fan, which if you're one, you're probably not the other.
The 4 views will tell you.
Yeah, all 6 views are not Nick Virtue fans. I'm still from Pensacola. My finish is still the drop D. The Spinebuster's still the BTR.
What does that stand for?
BT
again?
Rizzle.
The BT, it means built to rule.
Oh, okay.
And
What was the other one that you said? There was
Born to Ride.
Born to Ride.
Bringing up the rear.
Bring it up the rear.
I had a few, just in case I was ever asked.
Yeah, I hear you. What was the something tornado? There was another one. I don't remember.
There was the blistering tornado
Something.
rocket ship or something like that.
You should just use that anyway.
The blistering tornado rocket ship?
I like that.
That sounds Japanese, doesn't it?
Just the
Shining, blistering tornado.
sternest dust.
What the hell? That was crazy Japanese.
But yeah, Nick Virtue. Let me break this down.
Break it down.
All right, because I'm sure the marks that look at me as he really is that guy aren't going to be the ones watching this. So let me break it down to the people who.
You think anybody looks at you like you really are that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the ones who told me that they were going to stab me.
It's fake.
Yeah, it's fake. This is my
It's
friend.
still real to me.
Damn it. But Nick, the idea behind Nick Virtue is that it's still Nick Vortex. It's the
But
same
he's
guy.
lying.
But I found another way about things, and I mean, why would I change the name of my move? Why would I be from somewhere
You
different?
changed your name, though.
I changed my name, but where would I be from somewhere else now? Did I move because I changed my name and I wear different pants? You know, it's the same guy just with a different gimmick and a different outlook on life. And there you go, Reese and Angles, Jerry.